the food culture.
Wow.
I don't know if I've ever been this excited to eat anything.
Eva Longoria searching for Mexico. Sundays at 9 on CNN.
A little history to find themselves in a final. Obviously, you're going to defend and transition. That's going to be not overawed at all.
When you have Spectrum Mobile, your mobile and Wi-Fi combine for a seamless, reliable connection in and out of the home. Get one line of unlimited for $29.99 and your next line free with Spectrum Mobile.
Spectrum Mobile is the fastest growing mobile provider in the nation, and now is the time to switch. Buy one unlimited line for $29.99 and get your next line free. Spectrum Mobile delivers reliable service coast to coast with unlimited talk, text, and data. Plus, nationwide 5G is included. So get one unlimited line for $29.99 and get your next line free for 12 months. Visit spectrummobile.com/unbeatable, a Spectrum store, or call 844-486-2999 today.
HBO's Overtime with Bill Maher, now on CNN, tonight at 11:30.
Tonight we're learning new details about the arrest of an American journalist in Russia. Our senior international correspondent Matthew Chance is joining us live in Moscow. He's got details. Matthew, President Biden is calling on Russia to release Evan Gershkovich immediately. What more is the Kremlin saying about his arrest and where he's being held?
Well, Wolf, we're not seeing any sign tonight that Evan Gershkovich is going to be arrested immediately, despite what President Biden had to say. In fact, the Kremlin have doubled down on this idea that he was caught red-handed engaging in espionage. And it's something other Russian officials have talked about as well. The Foreign Ministry spokesperson saying that whatever he was doing was nothing to do with journalism. It's almost like Russian officials are already sort of talking about his guilt before his trial has even begun. In terms of where he's being held, that's a sort of notorious prison in the southeast of Moscow called Lefortovo. He appeared in court there within the past 24 hours, of course, where he was arraigned until the 29th of May. The US officials say they're trying to get consular access to Evan Gershkovich, and the Foreign Ministry, for their part, say that access will eventually be given. But according to the diplomats, the US diplomats we've been speaking to here in Moscow, they haven't managed to get access to Mr. Gershkovich as yet. But obviously that is expected to happen very soon.
And so Matthew Chance in Moscow for us. Thank you very much. Coming up, the Trump indictment posing an unprecedented security challenge for officials in New York and elsewhere in the United States. The Secret Service involved, clearly. I'll get analysis from the former Homeland Security Secretary, Jay Johnson.
My most important kitchen tool? My brain. So I choose Nariva Plus. Unlike some others, Nariva Plus is a multitasker supporting 6 key indicators of brain health to help keep me sharp. Nariva, think bigger.
Our roof got damaged during Hurricane Ida last August. When I went to start researching different roofers in my area, I was overwhelmed. The wait was incredibly long, the bids were outrageous. Then we got on Angie. Next thing we knew, we were put in contact with our Angie Pro. It was just insane how quickly things went. And then that weekend, they came out, they were there for a day and a half, and we had a brand new roof.
Got a home project? Get started at Angie.com today.
Some people say the metaverse will only be virtual. But firefighters entering a burning house will one day save time when lives are on the line. Visualizing a patient's most recent scan will help speed up decision-making in the ER. And while the woolly mammoth is still extinct, that doesn't mean students can't take field trips to visit them. The metaverse may be virtual, but the impact will be real.
Have you or anyone you know ever been stationed at Marine Corps Base Camp Lejeune? Camp Lejeune's water was contaminated by fuel leaks. If you had any water contact while at Camp Lejeune and been diagnosed with cancer or Parkinson's disease, you may be entitled to compensation. As a Marine who was stationed at Camp Lejeune myself for 4 years, this cause hits close to home. So if you've been stationed or visited Marine Corps Base Camp Lejeune and have cancer or Parkinson's, visit CampLejeuneInjury.com. Morgan & Morgan, for the veterans.
The earth is full of color. Now, going green is too.
with thread knit from 100% recycled plastic bottles. Comfortable, washable, stylishly sustainable. Rothy's, green in every color.
Martial arts is my passion.
I work out whenever I can.
But with my moderate to severe eczema, it can be tough.
My skin was so uncomfortable.
The itching was so bad.
Now I'm staying ahead of my eczema.
There's a power inside all of us to live our passion. And Dupixent works on the inside to help heal your skin from within. It helps block a key source of inflammation inside the body that can cause eczema, so adults can have long-lasting, clearer skin and fast itch relief. Serious allergic reactions can occur that can be severe. Tell your doctor about new or worsening eye problems such as eye pain or vision changes, including blurred vision, joint aches and pain, or a parasitic infection. Don't change or stop asthma medicines without talking to your doctor.
Healing from within is a powerful thing.
Ask your eczema specialist how Dupixent can help heal your skin from within.
Start your day with Nature Made, the #1 pharmacist-recommended vitamin and supplement brand.
Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance so you only pay for what you need. With the money we saved, we tried electric unicycles.
I think I got it.
Doggy paddle. Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty. Ego, the #1 rated brand in cordless outdoor power, brings you the Select Cut mower, built to exceed the power of gas. Customize the cut with Ego's revolutionary dual-blade cutting system with 3 interchangeable blades. Featuring Ego's patented lithium battery technology, it cuts for over an hour on a single charge. And touch-drive self-propelled technology makes it effortless. The Ego Power Plus Select Cut mower, exclusively at Lowe's, Ace, and Ego authorized dealers.
Happening now, new specifics on the timing and the very tight security surrounding Donald J. Trump's appearance in criminal court, New York City and the nation, for that matter, bracing for the historic arraignment of the newly indicted former president of the United States. Trump supporters of many big-name Republicans are rallying behind him tonight as Trump seizes on his indictment to raise campaign cash. Stand by for new reaction to the 2024 presidential race being thrown into uncharted territory right now. And we're staying on top of the breaking news on severe weather, tracking a very dangerous tornado outbreak. A state of emergency was just declared in Arkansas. We'll have the newest forecast for millions of Americans at risk right now. Welcome to our viewers here in the United States and around the world. I'm Wolf Blitzer, and you're in the Situation Room.
This is CNN Breaking News.
We're following breaking news, a tornado outbreak ripping across the Midwest and southern United States right now. The Arkansas governor declaring a state of emergency just moments ago. Let's go straight to our meteorologist, Chad Myers. He's over at the CNN Weather Center for us. Chad, this is an especially dangerous situation for millions and millions of Americans. Give us the latest.
Yeah, big cities in the way. I mean, not just Iowa, but Chicago. You're about to see some pretty big weather. We have tornadoes on the ground right now in Iowa. Tornadoes on the ground in Arkansas right now. All part of this red zone, which all tornado watches that go to a variety of times throughout the evening hours. These storms are moving quickly. 50, 60 miles per hour. If you get a tornado warning where you are, you may only have minutes to get to a safe place, like Earl, Arkansas, just to the west of Memphis. A new tornado emergency for you. That storm right there is on the ground producing damage. We do know that it is a large and damaging tornado right now that just moved through in parts of Arkansas, just to the northwest of Memphis. Likely misses Memphis, but we'll keep watching that. Iowa City, big storm just to your northwest, was rotating for a while. Tornado was on the ground. That thing's been on the ground since Ottumwa, Iowa, a long path. So this area here from Chicago through Davenport all the way down to Louisiana and Mississippi, all part of the same system. with EF2, EF3s, and larger likely with this. Now, by tomorrow, this thing even gets to some of the big cities. Now, not EF2 and EF3s, but watch. This is hour by hour. I set this up because I know you all don't live in parts of Arkansas. But hour by hour, as we roll this through the Ohio Valley, down through Tennessee, we go from 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock and advance again back into the evening hours. Now we're well after dark, but these storms are still red. These storms are still firing and likely still rotating. By tomorrow morning, they're losing all of their power, but they still could produce some wind damage as they work their way through the Northeast. Wolf, a violent night tonight. You need to really be weather aware if you live through the Midwest, a large part of the Midwest.
Good advice. Chad Meyer, stay close. We're staying on top of the breaking news. Right now, though, I want to go to the historic indictment of Donald Trump. We're told a tentative time has now been set for the unprecedented spectacle in New York on Tuesday, when the former president appears in court as a criminal defendant. CNN Justice correspondent Jessica Schneider has all the new details on the Trump indictment.
What are the charges against President Donald Trump?
An historic court date set for former President Donald Trump on Tuesday in Manhattan, where District Attorney Alvin Bragg has brought an indictment against him. Trump is planning to leave his Mar-a-Lago estate on Monday for New York, and then on Tuesday, authorities will take his mugshot and fingerprints before escorting him to his arraignment. NYPD and Secret Service already working together to bolster security at the courthouse as they track any threats and possible protests. The indictment, still under seal, styled "The People of the State of New York against Donald J. Trump." CNN learning the grand jury voted to charge him with more than 30 counts related to business fraud after hearing from an unidentified witness for about 30 minutes Thursday.
I am a convicted felon. I am a disbarred lawyer, but I also brought the documents. There's plenty of testimony, corroborating testimony to go around.
Former Trump fixer Michael Cohen met with prosecutors and testified to the grand jury on multiple occasions in this years-long investigation.
Raise your right hand.
Cohen was convicted on federal charges and sentenced to 3 years in prison, in part for his role paying off porn star Stormy Daniels to keep her quiet in the lead up to the 2016 election about her alleged affair with Donald Trump.
It's a fight against his rejection of truth and his manufacturing of stories that really motivated her to try to cooperate in any way, certainly to get the truth out.
Trump denies the affair and any wrongdoing.
Did you know about the $130,000 payment to Stormy Daniels?
No.
Why did Michael Cohen make it if there was no truth to your allegation?
Well, you have to ask Michael Cohen. Michael's an attorney, and you'll have to ask Michael Cohen.
Cohen, though, admits to writing the $130,000 check and claims he was reimbursed by the Trump Organization. That reimbursement and the way Trump accounted for it appears to be at the heart of the case against Trump.
For Donald, since we're talking about convicted felons, see you on Tuesday, pal.
Sources tell CNN the grand jury also heard testimony about a catch-and-kill scheme to bury a story about another alleged Trump affair with former Playboy Playmate of the Year Karen McDougal. Trump's longtime friend and then chairman of the National Enquirer's parent company, David Pecker, is believed to have orchestrated that $150,000 payment. Pecker testified before the grand jury Monday. Trump also denies any affair with McDougal. Trump's lawyers are now vowing to fight, saying they will move to get all charges dismissed before any trial.
There's no crime. I don't know if it's going to make the trial because we have substantial legal challenges that we have to front before we get to that point.
And CNN has been digging into exactly who this last mystery witness was on Thursday before the grand jury voted to indict Trump. A lot more that could become clear as this case progresses. And we'll also see just how strong this case might be after the indictment is unsealed, likely Tuesday at the arraignment. And in the meantime, former Attorney General Bill Barr is the latest now speaking out, joining that chorus of Republicans saying that this is a political hit job and a weak case. But notably, Wolf, no one has seen the exact charges or evidence in this case. So we shall see.
We shall see indeed. Jessica Schneider, thanks for that report. Let's go to New York and CNN's Paula Reed right now. She's just outside the courthouse where Trump will be arraigned on Tuesday. Paula, there's new reaction from Stormy Daniels to Trump's indictment. What are we hearing?
That's right, Wolf. Stormy Daniels, the woman who received the hush money at the center of this criminal investigation, speaking out today. She calls this indictment, quote, epic, but says for her it's bittersweet. She believes that he has done, quote, much worse to other people and should have been taken down sooner. She also described how she has been facing violent threats since this indictment. Let's take a listen to how she describes her experience.
The number and the intensity is the same as it was the first time around, like the number. And like, it was a lot of aggression the first time, but this time it's straight up violent. You know, like the first time it was like gold digger, slut, whore, you know, liar, whatever. And this time it's like, I'm gonna murder you.
She went on to say that she's upset that it is the former president himself who this time is encouraging and inciting that kind of violence. Wolf.
All right, Paula, I want you to stay with us. I also want to bring in our legal, law enforcement, and political experts into the conversation. Elliot Williams, I'll start with you. Does the fact that we've learned Trump is facing more than 30 counts tell you anything about the strength of the case that the prosecutors have built?
No, Wolf, I don't think it says anything about the strength of the case that prosecutors have built. Now, the way prosecutors often get to multiple counts in an indictment is by stacking, in effect, charges. So, for instance, well, using the example of hush money payments, if there were 10 or 11 payments, those may serve as the basis for multiple different charges in an indictment. And that's how they add up, and that's how you can sometimes find dozens and dozens of charges in a case. We don't know how strong they are. Now, certainly, there's been reporting, and Michael Cohen commented as to some of the questions he may or may not have answered, but until we see what's actually included in the indictment, I think it's really impossible to weigh in on the strength of the case.
And John Miller, how is this going to play out on Tuesday when Donald Trump is arraigned in New York City?
He's going to be brought from Trump Tower to the courthouse. The time has been set for his arrival. Today, they did a meeting about coordinating how they would get through traffic, which entrance they would use, but also they did a walkthrough, basically a dry run, where they said, he will be booked here in this office. We'll then take this elevator to this floor, cross over to this private hallway, come out here into the public hallway and walk into the courtroom. So they've run all the routes. The mystery here, Wolf, is on the back end, which is, does Donald Trump go to Trump Tower and hold a press conference before returning to Palm Beach? Does he do that outside the courthouse? That's something that's really up to Donald Trump and the Trump camp, and no word on that yet.
Yeah, we'll find out on Tuesday. David Chalian, will Trump and his supporters be able to use this time leading up to the arraignment on Tuesday and his appearance over at the courthouse in New York to his advantage politically?
Well, they're certainly using the time already to try and help him politically by sending out fundraising appeal after fundraising appeal, by constantly creating political attacks against Alvin Bragg, the prosecutor, as an effort to fortify support among his supporters and rally Republicans to his cause here. So there's no doubt that Donald Trump and his team are going to continue to use the time between now and the arraignment to try and get the most political advantage out of this moment possible. That being said, we should be clear, this is not a development that Donald Trump wanted to have happen, and it may not be a development that serves him well politically in the long run, but they are going to try to milk it for all they can.
Paula, what does all this mean for the other investigations into Trump that are still underway right now?
It's a great question, Wolf, but I don't think that this indictment really has any impact on those other investigations, because those really deal with other issues. For example, special counsel Jack Smith in Washington, he's looking into efforts to interfere with the 2020 election and the efforts leading up to the Capitol attack on January 6th.